I'm with Chef Eric Ripert. I'm in LA, so unfortunately, it means that you and I are talking. You're not going to be cooking for me. At least not tonight.
Not tonight, that's for sure. You will have to come to New York.
So, as a young chef, you arrive in the US.
Yes.
You go to Jean-Louis.
I started in Washington in 1989 and worked for Jean-Louis Bernardin at the Watergate Hotel, which was famous for the Watergate scandal. But at this fantastic chef, Jean-Louis, and it was a very great experience for me.
Then from there you move on to...
Well, when I left Jean-Louis, I moved to New York City, stay a short time with David Goulet, and then in 1991 moved to Le Bernardin, and course...
That's where it all started.
Started in 1991 there, and until this day I am at Le Bernardin.
So since you've been there, and since we've had our top 40 US restaurant list, you've been on there every year. You're a repeat. Everybody loves you, and never hear any complaint about the restaurant. Well, everybody raves about the restaurant.
Well, thank you. That's a very nice compliment. I appreciate that.
So why seafood? Because you're not born and raised by the ocean.
Well, Le Bernardin was a seafood restaurant to begin with, because Gilbert and Maggie Lecoz come from Brittany, and they were their grandparents were fishermen and so on. And myself, in every restaurant where I worked before Le Bernardin, I always ended up, for some obscure reason, in a fish station, and developed a certain knowledge and about cooking fish, about understanding fish, and preparing fish. And therefore, when I came to Le Bernardin, I was very comfortable with the idea of working in a fish restaurant.
So from the restaurant, you have your own TV show, Avec Eric.
Yes, Avec Eric started to air on PBS last year, actually, season 1. Now we are already in season 2, and we are traveling through different countries and inside the US. So the show has 3 parts. The introduction of the show is at Le Bernardin, behind the scene, where I am the chef of Le Bernardin. Then I'm traveling for inspiration, and I go visit growers and farmers and fishermen in some very interesting locations like California, Italy and the Caribbean, Virginia, the south of the US and so on. And then I come back to my own kitchen to cook something for the viewer, something that is related to the traveling part of the show.
One day I want to go traveling with you. So now from the show, moving from the France to US to Le Bernardin, the show, now you came up with the book Avec Eric, which is the show on paper actually.
Yes.
Yeah, it's some episodes.
It's a little bit more complex than the show, because it's a companion book of season 1. So we are obviously documenting all the episodes of season 1. It's a travelogue, but it has much more recipes documented in the book than in the show itself, since in the show I cook always 1 recipe per show. Here we have more than 100 recipes. We have also wine pairings. We have anecdotes and stories about behind the scene during the traveling part and so on. So it's a companion book that stands alone.
But tell us about the recipes. I understand you're a fine dining chef, but the recipes are not fine dining.
No, the recipes are designed especially to be made at home for the home cook, with ingredients that are not too difficult to find, obviously, or not obviously, but not necessarily very expensive. The recipes are not overly complicated. They are, with our guidance, definitely successful, and I think it's interesting for the viewer to look at the book and then try those recipes, follow the guidance, and end up with a great result in a very timely manner.
Yeah, so hopefully there will be a second book, since you said this is season 1, right?
This
of
is
the TV show.
Yes,
so since you're...
It will be probably a second book, but we don't want to jinx it, and I knock on wood.
Well, now the only thing you have to do is to go home and try some of the recipes.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Chef, and congratulations for being so adventurous and offering much good food and great TV show. I watched it, and in the book now.
Thank you for your compliments, obviously, and I'm very happy that you like the show, you like the book, and you like Le Bernardin as well.
Yeah.